Jeep performed flawlessly. I used those 2 fuel packs to bring some fuel up for my neighbor who plowed the road. I'm using a rock slide engineering mount. So the rock slide mount, it's 2 metal mounts on either side with a big ratchet strap that goes around the tire, and then these mount to it. Now I did find that the fuel packs don't mount the same as the roto packs, so there's only 2 screws holding them in. It seems to be doing just fine. And then this off-roading gear style bag, kind of like the Trasharoo bag, it works perfectly. I use it for my garbage when I leave, so I don't have to put them in the Jeep, so that works great. You know, and while I'm at it, I might as well talk a little bit about this. I did a really short video about the ARS roof rack system. It's the Pro Rack. Metalcloak bought the Congo rack system and started their own version of it, which is the ARS, American Rack Systems, I believe is what it stands for. So it's the Metalcloak version. This is, as far as I know, the strongest rack system that you can get for a Jeep. And things and tie downs and all kinds of stuff that you can put on there. And I haven't made use of it a lot, other than to carry the tent. But, you know, it's there. I've got it. It does create a little bit of noise going down the road. So without the mod rack, it's not noisy. With the mod rack, it's a little bit noisy. You get some wind noise. The mounts work pretty good. I did change the stainless steel hardware out for black, and so there's a little rust. I need to clean those and paint them. But those mounts are solid. This thing is solid, and perhaps one day I may get the catwalk that goes across here. So they make a catwalk that runs right across here that you can actually walk on, and so it comes out here somewhere. It actually mounts. So it mounts right here and then runs all the way across. And you can still use windshield wipers, of course, but you can walk on that. And that's really nice. If you put a step here, you can get up on here and then get up on there. And of course, with these metal fender flares, you could get up there on that too. So I really like the mod rack system. I like the ARS Pro Rack. I believe it's rated at 800 pounds. So 800 or 850 pounds. I will say there's a couple things about it that they're done on purpose so that you can remove the freedom panels or so that you can use a soft top. But they do create a little bit of an irritant, and I'll show you. When you come over here and you want to wipe your windshield off with a squeegee, that guy kind of gets in the way, so you kind of have to go to about here and then come down. It's not a major issue. The only other issue is that I had a shop. There's a little ding right here in the hood. I had a shop, and they did what they always do. They lifted the hood and they laid it back against the windshield. And normally with these guys right here, it'll lay against the windshield and it's not a problem. With this rack here, this will lay on the rack, and if you let it drop a little bit, you get a bit of a ding. I wasn't happy about that, but it's a really good shop and I like the folks there, so I'm not going to complain. These clamps seem to hold really well. There's 3 on either side for the mod rack system, and then of course you got the 2 long rails and they bolt on there. Those hold really well. And I will probably get some handles to put up here. They also make a step that goes back here somewhere. You could put a step back here, which is kind of nice, because if you hop up on here and if you got a step somewhere up here that you can step a little higher to get up and work on the tent up there, that would be kind of nice. So all in all, I will tell you, I know a lot of people like the Gobi Rack system. It's about the same cost if you buy everything I have. I think that's pretty close to what the Gobi Rack system is, or you could put a basket in instead of the mod rack that I have. The Gobi Rack was about a 6-month wait. This I got in 2 weeks. It is stronger than the Gobi Rack. And the other thing is, I've seen on other Jeeps where when the Gobi Rack mounts, they put a standoff right here. And if you're off-roading a lot, it can actually dent the quarter panel. That's not very good. This system here actually mounts to the frame where the bumper mounts. So this is a solid mount on the frame, and it comes all the way up and around, and you can actually slide the hardtop out. So you could take the hard top off. You could actually use a soft top. They make a bracket for soft tops, so you could lift that up a little bit if you needed to. And you can get the freedom panels off. You can't get them off with a mod rack on. The mod rack actually gets in the way, so that's a little bit of an irritant. I would actually think about changing the mod rack and making it shorter possibly, and I can actually do that. You could actually take like the center panel out and shorten that whole thing up and make it fit right here. The problem is I tend to put the tent to the rear, and if I'm going to use the mod rack with the tent, I kind of like it up front because I can put stuff on the mod rack in front of the tent. So whether I do that or not, I'm not sure, but it's a good looking rack. It fits really well. It mounts great. It's got some rubber, I think, in the rear. These bolts right here, there's like a bushing in here, so you've got bushings in here where this mounts, so this can actually move a little bit. That's okay. A little flex is okay, but it mounts solid on the front. Never had a problem with it. And you can mount lights to that, of course, as well. You can mount lights on it just like any other rack. So I really like it. And if you're looking for a rack, a really strong rack, I would say that you ought to really look at Metalcloak's ARS rack system for your JK or JL or whatever Jeep you have. It's a great rack system. Metalcloak are great guys. I've had nothing but good stuff to say about them with working with them. If I email them with questions, they answer back. So that's really great. So anyway, love that system. I really do. I've got the baracade flat front fenders. Honestly, they were inexpensive, and I needed to do it because the ones that I cut flew off in the wind. A heavy crosswind blew them off. I like those, actually, and I think I will probably put them on the rear as well, although my cut fenders are working fine, and so whether I put them on the rear or not, I don't know. I think I probably will, though, because I could actually stand on them. They're strong. They're really strong. So I like those. But anyway, I'm going to go in and sit by the fire and warm up. And well, I think I've got a few things to get out of the Jeep still. And I've got to bring in some firewood. So I'm going to do that. Gotta love Rubicons, especially with some lift. That lift and the 35s, I think, make a lot of difference in this snow wheeling. A little sloppy, but kind of fun.